You know, we bump into so many people every single day. The person who makes your coffee, the one who cleans the office after you leave, the guy driving the bus. Well, this explainer is all about the world they carry inside them, a world we almost never get to see. And this quote, it just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It's asking us to really look, to see the so-called invisible people who are literally holding our world together, the ones who keep the gears turning, usually way out of sight. So, our story starts in a place we all know, a busy restaurant. To be specific, a mamak in Kuala Lumpur. You can just picture it, right? The buzz, the energy, the kind of place where it feels like the whole city just flows through. And it's the perfect spot for an ordinary moment that turns out to be anything but. Okay, so picture this scene. It's something you've probably witnessed 100 times. A simple mix-up. A wrong order comes to the table. But for the author's colleague, boom, it triggers this flash of anger. And the words he directs at the server, they're sharp, they're fast, and just completely out of proportion. But this is where the whole story pivots. The author just leans in and quietly shares a little bit of the server's backstory. He crossed oceans to be here. He works 12-hour days. He gets 1 day off, a month. And all of a sudden you realize this was never about a wrong dish. This is about an incredible, immense sacrifice for family. And you might think, okay, maybe that was just a one-off thing. But it wasn't. A few months down the line, the author sees something very similar, maybe even more painful, happen all over again. This time, on a train. Let's just break this down for a second, because it really captures the casual cruelty of it all. First, a worker, obviously exhausted, finds a rare empty seat, a small win. Then, a local guide demands he give it up. And get this, it wasn't because there were no other seats. It was purely an assertion of status. And then comes that final verbal jab. This is Malaysia, a line designed to remind the worker exactly where he stands. So these public moments of humiliation, that's one side of the coin. But the author then asks us to think about the private world that each of these people carries around. A world completely hidden from us, often tucked away right there in their pocket. And this right here captures the whole disconnect, doesn't it? To a stranger on the street, he's a generic label, foreign worker. But to his family back home, he's everything. He's a father, a son, a husband. He's their hero. He's the one whose sacrifice is building their entire future. You know, that phone in his pocket, it's not just a device. It's a portal. It's a lifeline, filled with photos of his kids, his wife, his parents looking so proud. It's where, for a few minutes on a video call, all the exhaustion of a 12-hour day can just melt away, replaced by the pure joy of connecting with the people who see him for who he really is. And this single sentence, this is the heart of it all. In our own busy lives, it's so easy to just see the function, right? The server, the cleaner, the worker. We totally forget that to someone, somewhere, that person is the whole world. They're the main character in an epic story we'll never even know. Now, if you zoom out from these individual stories, you start to see a much, much bigger reality. We're talking about the massive, collective impact of this workforce. Their contribution isn't just personal. It's foundational to the very world we all live in. I mean, really? Have you ever stopped to wonder about that? We wake up and the world just works. The train station is spotless. The office is ready for the day. The lights are on. It feels like magic, but it's not. It's the result of an incredible amount of labor that happens while most of us are fast asleep. Just think about it. The skyscrapers that make up the skyline, they built them. The spotless train stations we rush through every morning, they maintain them. The offices, the roads, the tunnels, the entire infrastructure that makes our daily lives possible is thanks to their labor. They're like the invisible architects and custodians of our world. And why? Why do they do all this? What's the dream that makes all this sacrifice worth it? Well, it's not about luxury. It's not about wealth. It's about the most basic, fundamental human things. A safe roof over their families' heads, a chance for their kid to get an education, the ability for their parents to afford medicine. They endure all of this for that. Which brings us to a pretty big question. If their work is so vital, where does this contempt we saw earlier even come from? We've got to unpack the really flawed logic behind this hierarchy on sand, the one that lets a person feel superior to the very man serving his food. Seriously? What gives someone the right to look down on another person? Is it their nationality? Their job title? The amount of money they make?
The argument here is that this whole pecking order is built on something as unstable and flimsy as sand.
And here's the uncomfortable truth, the central irony in all of this. The very symbols of status that might make someone feel entitled, that gleaming office tower, that perfectly clean commute, were all built and maintained by the labor of the very people they're disrespecting. Their work is literally holding up the world of those who look down on them.
I mean, think about something like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That universal human drive for safety, love, belonging, and purpose. There's no little footnote at the bottom that says terms and conditions apply, except for migrant workers. Their hopes and dreams for a full life are just as human and just as valid as anyone else's.
So, what do we do with all this? What's the takeaway? It's not a call for some grand gesture or charity. It's a request for something much simpler and honestly way more profound. Just a basic human standard.
And let's be super clear, the point isn't to put anyone on a pedestal. They're not symbols, they're people. Complicated, flawed, tired, hopeful, achingly human. Just like you. The goal isn't pity, it's recognizing our shared, imperfect humanity.
The standard being asked for is simple. It's the same one you hold for yourself. The grace you want when you make a mistake. The patience you need when you're having a really bad day. That basic dignity you just consider non-negotiable. That's it. Just extend that same courtesy to everyone.
So, let this sink in. The next time some small inconvenience happens, like your order isn't exactly right, what are you going to remember?
And the next time you're walking through your city and everything is clean and working and lit up, are you going to see the people who make all that possible?
And we'll end on this final, powerful thought. Every single person you pass by has a whole story you can't see. And in that story, they are loved, they are vital, they are someone's entire world. And somewhere, the people who love them are just hoping that for this one small moment, you'll see a piece of that too.